Hi, this is Mike Brown, owner of Death Wish Coffee Company. Welcome to Fueled by Deathcast.
I love Jeff, but sweet and hot. Whoop, Mr. Motorama coffee and spot.
Death Wish Coffee presents Fueled by Deathcast, the world's strongest podcast. With your hosts, the incredible Jeff and the amazing D-Man.
Welcome to Fueled by Deathcast! I'm going to keep my arms up all episode like you asked me to last episode.
You're going to get jacked, dude.
I'm already tired, everybody. I hope you all are having a wonderful day. It is episode 71 for everybody keeping track at home. And as always, I am the incredible Jeff.
And I'm the amazing D-Man.
And I'm going to put my arms down now. This is hard. No, I'm going to.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
Are you not?
I believe in you, Jeff. I think you can do it. You only have about, 59 more minutes to go.
Super hard. I'm done. I'm done. Really excited about this episode. First and foremost, let me tell you guys, go follow us on social media. Our social media of choice is Instagram because we really like posting pictures here at Deathwish HQ and also just random stuff that D-Man and myself get into, and it's very easy to follow us. I am at Jeff Wish Coffee.
And I am at Deathwish Dustin.
And if this is your first time joining the show, this is how it goes down. Every show, throughout the show, all you got to do is share this feed, comment shared in those comments at the bottom or on the side, however you're watching it, and you'll have a chance to win a mug. And this week, it's one of our old school diner mugs. I didn't even know these were still kicking around, and we found one in the warehouse, and I wanted to give it away to you guys. Half human, half coffee, it says on it. This was our first ever run of diner mugs, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, it came as a set. I don't remember what the other one said.
The other one was just a logo.
Oh, that's
so
right.
It was the first time
this
we
is the
did.
cooler one then.
Yeah, it's the first time we did these diner mugs in general. So they were only one-sided. Now they're updated and they're two-sided, but. This is obviously exclusive because you can't get it anymore. You haven't been able to get them for, I don't know, like a year? I don't know.
Yeah, the diner mugs are awesome. We have ones currently on our site right now, and we'll be doing new ones as well because we really like this product. But here's the old school one. You can win it. All you have to do is share this feed, comment shared in those comments, and we'll pick one lucky winner at the end of this show and send it out to you. Now, normally what we do is we sign the bottom of the mugs, but these being the diner mugs, there's really not a place to sign it, and also this is going to be your everyday mug. You're going to wash it, put it in your dishwasher. The signature's just going to go away. So we're going to send you out one of our nice little postcards, and we'll sign that for you. So we don't want you to miss out on our awesome signatures, right?
I guess.
They're super awesome.
I guess.
And before we get into the show, I just want to say D-Man and myself are really excited because starting tomorrow, we're going on an adventure. And we love taking this show on adventures, so know for a fact we're going to chronicle the whole thing, and we'll bring that show to you next week. But yeah, we talked about it on this podcast a couple times, and it's finally, I can't believe it's finally here, but we leave tomorrow. We're going to the Salty Dog Cruise.
Both yours and mine are first cruise.
First cruise ever. This is the brand new poster that was just released today, and we could not be more excited about this. We are caffeinating the masses of this cruise. It's all put on by the band Flogging Molly. And if you don't know who they are, you can go back probably like 10 or 15 episodes ago on this show. And
you don't know the number off the top of your head,
I do
Jeff?
not. I want to say like, I don't know, episode 50, I think. Around there, 50, 51, around there. But yeah, we interviewed two of the guys from Flogging Molly, and they actually were telling us about this cruise. And we were like, wow, that sounds really cool. And at the end of the episode, they were like, would you guys want to come and bring your coffee on the cruise? And we're like, okay, so we are. So we're going to do that, but we're bringing the show with us, too. We'll chronicle the whole thing. We'll have a Salty Dog Cruise spectacular for you next week, so you'll be able to see all the trouble we got into. And I'm stupid excited about this.
So a little bit off topic, but still on topic. I saw an article today that was pretty much mentioning that some people believe the end of the world will be April
23rd. I saw that.
Nibiru and the Anunnaki are finally coming. Thank God. They'll
Yay.
collect all their gold and murder all of us. It'll be wonderful, I'm sure. But thankfully, we'll be in the Bahamas.
We'll be coming home, I think, then.
Well,
So.
let's just assume when everybody fades
Yeah,
away,
we
we're
can
gonna
die
be
down there.
we're gonna be on the awesome sands of beaches, listening to awesome punk rock. That's what I'm imagining, anyways.
I have no idea what to expect other than what the shipmates have been talking about and showing their videos and pictures from the last couple of years of this cruise. Like you said, I've never been on a cruise ship before. You've never been on a cruise ship before. I've been on boats on the water before, but I've never been on something like
I
this.
know enough to know that I'm not gonna get seasick, which is a good thing.
And we're going to a place that you're kind of familiar with. We have a stop in Key West.
Yeah.
I know your mother has a place down there, so you've been down there a bunch.
Yeah, not in Key West. She has a place outside of the Keys,
but you've been in
every
that
time I go visit her, you have to go to Key West. You have to see. Hopefully, we'll be around. I don't know if we're gonna be around late enough, but they have a sunset party
Oh,
where the
stop.
sun sets on the ocean, right?
Stop.
And it's a whole it's almost like a circus. That
Yeah.
they have sword swallowers and acrobats, and you can buy popcorn and eat nuts and just watch the sun disappear behind the ocean.
Well, we wish you could all come with us, and we're going to, like I said, chronicle the whole thing, hopefully even that sunset thing, and we'll put it all together in a show, and that'll be out next week, so at least you'll be able to see it all through what we saw, which will be incredible. And at the top of every show, not the first thing we do, but at the top of every show.
I called Jeff out.
We like to thank our good friend, Brock Powell.
BrockVox.com.
He's the voice actor behind all the incredible voices on this show and 1,000 other voices out there in the world. Seriously, go over to BrockVox.com. Follow him on social media. Check out all the cool stuff he's going to be doing. He's going to be everywhere this year. And just so you guys know, we work with him constantly, and I just got a rough edit of some new bumps we're going to have specifically for this show.
Usually new bumps are a bad thing.
Yeah. Oh, no, doctor, I got new bumps. Yeah.
But in this case, it's a good thing for
Yeah.
everybody.
So we'll have some fun new stuff from Brock premiering on this show in like a week or two. And we also want to thank Blackmagic Design. That's the company that we use a lot of their technology to create the video aspect of this show so it looks as good as it sounds. Can't say enough good things about that company.
Secret code unlocked. Discount of death.
So this week, if you type in the discount code on deathwishcoffee.com, the discount code is comics. Jeff, as always, please spell that for us.
That is COMICS.
You're kind of like that chick in it's a Wheel of Fortune.
Vanna White?
Yeah. and you
Ooh,
go
I
and
should get like C. I should get one of those.
That's right, and a dress.
Done.
And-
Tune in next week
And
for
a pretty
Vanna
face.
Aw.
Anyways, if you use that awesome discount code comics, you will nail yourself 20% off the Death Wish Clean Canteen. That's a huge discount. Jeff was like, please, Dustin, don't do it. And I hit him.
Yeah, it's pretty much how it goes down. If you sell Dustin not to do something, he's going to do it.
I speak with my hands. Anyways, yeah, type in comics. That'll get you 20% off the Death Wish Clean Canteen until April 25th. That's a Wednesday. Huge discount, reason being we're getting down to the end of that inventory, and we're going to change them a little bit. So I'm going to say about that. But if you want to get your hands on this Clean Canteen and you haven't yet, this is the best time to do it.
Yeah, and one of the reasons why we love the Clean Canteen, whether you're drinking iced coffee, you're drinking hot coffee, it'll keep your beverage at that desired temperature all day long, all day and night.
Do you remember the first time you burnt your mouth drinking Clean
Yes,
Canteen coffee?
Literally, it was like my first or second week here on the job.
Yeah.
I got a Clean Canteen. I filled it up with hot coffee and forgot it in my car.
Yep. Yeah.
And I got
totally
and like 5:30, p.m. rolls around. I clock out for the day. I get in my car and I was like, I wonder, burned my mouth
You're like, ooh,
on the coffee.
Oh, no.
Yeah. They are an incredible product. They're perfect for anybody who's got to travel a lot. And the reason why the secret code is comics this week is because we finally got her. We've been wanting to have her on the show for so long, and that is comic book writer Amy Chu. We love Amy Chu, and she travels all the time. In fact, probably at your favorite Comic-Con, she'll be there because, like, it's incredible the amount of Comic-Con she does. And she is somebody who literally inspires the crap out of me because she's proof positive that if you say it out into the world and you just go after what you want, you'll get it. And that's what she did.
I think that's almost like a common theme with a lot of our guests, with most of our guests, is that we're finding out that it's somebody who had a mind to do something, actually put their mind to it and put their nose to the grindstone and really worked hard to get what they wanted, and they got it. It's nobody that was like, hey, man, I just kind of fell on it, and I was like, cool.
Right.
You know, and she's definitely a perfect example of that, just really DIY in the beginning. Like, if, you know, I don't expect anybody to do this for me, I'm going to get it done myself, and it just picked up there.
And we talked to her about her entire career, starting out just literally publishing comics on her own and beating the streets and trying to find, you know, editors and other writers and artists to listen to her and read her work. And she has all of these titles under her belt, like Poison Ivy. She wrote the recent line for Kiss, which she was the first woman writer ever on that line, which is incredible. She's currently doing Red Sonja, Deja Thoris, and the brand new Green Hornet. We talk about all of that, and we went down to our home away from home to record this at a shared universe podcast studio right outside of Red Bank, New York. And so, of course, we had some special guests on the show as well, and that's Ming Chen and Mike Zapsik from AMC's Comic Book Men. So here's a sneak peek of tomorrow's brand new podcast with Amy Chu right here.
The Fueled by Death guest.
You have an incredible origin story in this industry, I feel.
Well, like weird, yeah.
Well, I just think I think it's inspiring is the word I use for it, because because you worked hard and it paid off, kind of thing. Can we talk a little bit of how you broke into the industry?
Sure. You know, that's like the thing, and I get people now who are like, well, weren't you worried? Wasn't it a huge risk? And I don't think you think about it that way. I think if you want to do something like this, you go all in. You just do it. It's not like I maxed out my credit card or anything. It was really just, how do I make good comics, and how do I get to the point where I'm professional level, and hopefully I get the professional work.
Right.
And you know, it's really just working backwards from there. I'm like, okay, for me to get the attention of a professional editor, I got to self-publish. There's just almost no way to do it else, you know, as a writer. So, you know, it was really just working backwards from there. I'm like, okay, for me to self-publish and for someone to actually look at, I need to try to find a really great artist, you know. So it's just all that thinking, you know. It's just constantly, and then of course doing 23 conventions in 1 year.
Yeah.
You know, and almost dying, but you know, but I had coffee, so.
Yeah. But is that how you kind of networked? Is through the conventions?
Yeah, because that's the other thing. It's there's so many people for any creative business too. You're trying to break in, you're trying to do good work, you're trying to also learn things. It's kind of hard to do all that without, at least for mainstream comics, without, you know, meeting people face to face. And it's not even just, especially for someone like me who's so new. I didn't really know anything. You know, it was really meeting fans, meeting artists. It's really important to, you know, because when you're working on a comic, you're working on a creative team. It's I don't want to say it's like getting married, but you know, it's a relationship.
It's kind of like being in a band.
Yes,
that's how I imagined it. Anyways,
it is, and you know, and doing these shows, it's like a road trip. It's like it's doing a whole tour.
Yeah.
Science.
Okay, D-Man. So science this week. I found a couple cool topics, and they were all really brief. So we've got a smorgasbord of science this week.
Okay.
I'm pretty excited about it. And it's all in space. Sorry.
Smorgasbord in space.
In space. So first up, let's check in with one of our favorite topics here on the science segment, and that is the Juno mission that is currently orbiting the planet Jupiter. And Juno, if you don't know, if you haven't heard us talk about this, it is a spacecraft that we sent up there, and every 53 days, it does a really close flyby of Jupiter, so we've been getting all this new data, these really close-up pictures of the planet, and really starting to, like, not only get pictures, but it's got all these different scientific kind of instruments on it that we're getting all this crazy data back about its cloud formation, about what's inside. It's nuts. We recently talked about how the Juno craft took pictures of the poles. We've never seen the north and south pole of Jupiter up close, especially in infrared, to really peel the layers back of all the clouds and see what they are. And some of those pictures looked like this. It looks like the surface of hell. It's crazy. Now, NASA just released a stunning flyby video that compiles all the picture data that they got in this incredible 3D experience. Now, these images that you're about to see, they go from the cloud tops to about 30 to 40 miles below those cloud tops of Jupiter, and that's because of the infrared. And when you're looking at it, the yellow areas are much deeper in the atmosphere, and then the red areas are higher up in the atmosphere. Think of it as warmer and colder in the infrared. And as you'll see, the North Pole, which is the picture I have behind me, is a humongous cyclone flanked by 8 cyclones. And those 8 smaller cyclones are 25 to 29,000 miles in diameter. That's how big these storm systems are, just on the poles. It's nuts. So here's this video from NASA that I wanted to share with you guys. It's awesome.
And you wonder why space scares me sometimes. That is literally like a perfect rendering of a biblical version of hell.
Right.
I mean, that's what I imagine.
Hell
I
would
couldn't
look
even
like.
imagine it would look that scary.
Yeah.
It's insane. And just giant cyclones that are 29,000 miles in diameter. That sounds like a place you never want to go.
No, it's nuts, but it's really neat that we do have this spacecraft there, chronicling all this and giving us the best look we've ever seen at this planet, because we're learning so much about the formation of our own solar system just from the data we're getting from Juno.
It's incredible.
It's incredible. So the next story that I found this week, which I thought was interesting, deals with a different planet, and that is the planet of Venus. This is not a new idea about Venus. Back in 1967, Carl Sagan and Harold Morowitz thought Venus also lives in kind of the area which we consider the Goldilocks zone. Maybe there's some sort of microbial life, very small microbes, in the atmosphere of Venus. Maybe. And what this centers around is that the lower cloud layer of the planet has very favorable conditions for life. That is, the pressure, the temperature, that kind of stuff is very much like that of Earth in that lower level. And Dr. LeMay, who's the lead author of this new hypothesis paper that just was published in the journal Astrobiology, says, Venus has had plenty of time to evolve life on its own. Some models suggest the planet once had a habitable climate with liquid water on its surface for as long as 2 billion years.
Wow.
That's much longer than is believed to have occurred on Mars. So right there, it could have bred life at one point, and maybe that life still exists to some capacity in the atmosphere of Venus. We know this can happen because on Earth, we've observed it. Microorganisms have been found alive 25 miles above the surface of the Earth in the atmosphere, which you and I couldn't live there, but these microorganisms are completely built to live there.
Tardigrades?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That kind of organism. So that hypothesis does have a little weight. But to really get a sense of it, we would need to send a probe. The last probe we really sent to Venus with any type of scientific kind of data collection on it was back in 1978. We've been really focusing on the moon and Mars and farther out in the solar system since then. But I think there is an argument to be had to be looking at, Venus and even Mercury and the sun even.
It just makes me think our sense of time is so primitive.
Yes.
We think of time as, the time that you can think of as humans being around, but man, time is forever.
Yeah.
What about 20 billion years ago?
Right.
Can you conceive of how long ago 20 billion years was?
Can't.
And what life was like then?
Right. There must have been some sort of life. Maybe. I don't know. But the more we delve into this type of stuff, the more we'll find those answers.
And I think we'll find some of those answers on Venus.
I want to believe.
I mean, the probability is so there.
Yeah.
It's within grasp. We just don't have any proof. But if we think that there's no other way, then it's just ignorant.
Yeah.
I mean, we just don't understand, and we have no grasp of what life was like beyond a certain point. It's crazy.
It's the truth. And what they're looking to do now is to fund this new probe called the Venus Atmospheric Maneuverable Platform, or VAMP. And it could fly like a plane and hover like a blimp and contain a ton of scientific instruments to be able to not only retrieve data, but actually test for microorganisms. And it's just a matter of funding and getting that done. But it looks really neat. I think that could be really cool to see us kind of delve into, our planet that's so close, our next door neighbor, basically, Venus there. Who knows? Finally, speaking of space, the last story I have to bring to you, which I thought was really fun, is the first ever Instagram Live happened from space just a few days ago. The astronaut Drew Fustel took over the National Geographic Instagram Live from the International Space Station, and none other than Will Smith joined him to ask him some questions, which was really fun. I watched the whole thing. There's probably video of it somewhere online, but it was really fun to just see Will ask Drew questions in real time, and he's just floating in space. One of the first things he did is Drew had a microphone, which you can see in his hand there, and he just started letting it float and spin. And Will was like, dude, I'm a musician. I want to be able to do that. I'm putting that in my next music video, which I think is hilarious. Because why not? The reason why is because Will Smith has been hosting this incredible documentary series on National Geographic called One Strange Rock. And it is about our planet and everything that goes into our planet from the eyes of 8 astronauts and what they've experienced seeing it from as far away as a human has to living on it on Earth, which is incredible. And actually, just to get you guys even more a little bit excited, I have a trailer for that right here.
I am going to tell you about the most incredible place. And you know what? You're walking on it.
And the other reason I bring that up is because one of the astronauts that is included in this incredible 10-part documentary series is astronaut Nicole Stott. And we were lucky enough to have her run this very podcast, episode 18, if you want to go back and listen to that. One of the most incredible conversations ever.
Hands down.
And so the reason that's why Will was talking to this guy. And he brought up all of the most burning questions we all have to astronauts to poor Drew. First Will asked, how do you poop in space? because you gotta wonder how do you poop in space? It's got to be tough. To which Drew said it is tough. He didn't go into detail, but he said there are good days and there are bad days,
Ooh,
which is rough. And actually, speaking of Nicole said while she was being interviewed on the International Space Station back in 2009 when she was up there, she was being interviewed by a science class. And they asked her the same thing, and she had a little bit better of an answer. She said, for number 2, it's kind of like a camp potty, where you use that to contain the solid waste, and that gets burned up in the atmosphere eventually on a spacecraft. For number 1, it's basically a hose, and we call it a urine hose, and there's a vacuum to it. It sounds terrible.
Yeah.
This is actually a photo of the toilet on the International Space Station.
Oh, boy.
And it just looks not fun.
Yeah, it seems like things could go wrong really quickly.
Yeah. They're constantly upping that to figure out how to make it more comfortable for astronauts to relieve themselves in space, because we all have to do it. The next thing that Will asked was, has anybody ever had sex in space? He asked him that. He's like, for research purposes, has anyone ever tried to procreate in space? And Drew laughed a bunch and said,
That's a good question.
Yeah, he said to his knowledge that nobody has attempted that yet. But I don't know.
I
Maybe
don't believe it.
Yeah, maybe they're keeping that.
I
close.
believe there was 2 astronauts. And
you gotta try it, right?
One of them said, "Hey, we've been up here for a year
for science.
Yeah, let's run a little experiment." I don't know. How could you not?
How could you not?
We're all human.
We're all human. Finally, Will asked probably the question to ask, and I was so proud of him for actually posing it the way that he did and saying it. He said to Drew, he said, "You've been up there for a while now. You've been circling. He circles the Earth every hour and a half. So he sees sunrises and 16 sunrises and sunsets every single day he sees on the International Space Station. So he sees it all." And so Will posed it like this. He said, "What is the shape of that spaceship called Earth that you see outside your window?" And without missing a beat, astronaut Drew Fustel said, "It's pretty darn round from my viewpoint. There's no doubt about it. We're going round and round."
God, it makes me irritated that we even have to address the fact that the Earth is round. Oh my God.
I know.
I can't roast that enough.
Nope.
Let me tell you what, if you're still believing the Earth is flat, you better start backtracking now. Because the more conviction you have, the more you're going to look like an idiot.
Yeah.
Plain and simple.
Plain and simple.
The Earth is round.
It really is.
Oh my God, we figured this out so long ago, just like you eat food and you breathe air. I'm sorry. That's all I have to say about that.
What fuels you?
All right. So this week we got to talk to the incredible Amy Chu, comic book writer extraordinaire. And we talked about her career. We talked about everything that has been happening recently with her, with all the cool titles that she's writing. And we asked her, obviously, what fuels you? And she talked about something that we kind of gravitate back towards a lot. She's always striving to be better. She never thinks that, I wrote this issue and it's the best I've ever written or ever will. She's never gotten to that point. And we've talked about this before. There's always a next level. You can set a goal for yourself in life and you can achieve that goal, but that's not the finish line. There is no finish line. I guess in the truest sense of the form, there is only one finish line, and that's death, because you can't go any farther than that.
It's, we see it time and time again, and maybe this is a little bit of a dark way to look at it, but the people who are best at what they do don't believe that they're any good at all.
Yeah.
That's usually the case because they're so driven by that dissatisfaction that no matter what they do, they don't believe that they're good enough, so they're always trying to get better. Now, yeah, that's a dark way of looking at it. Like, they're just dissatisfied all the time, but that's kind of the truth.
Yeah.
And it's hard living being the best. I'm sure, it's lonely at the top, and that's one of the biggest reasons is just that dissatisfaction that you have to live with. But we all have to take that into consideration. Anytime you stop and think, God damn, I'm good.
Right.
When you actually believe that, please see that as a warning sign that
Yeah.
you're completely wrong and you can do much, much better. I don't care how good you did.
And Amy put it into a great perspective. She was saying, like, even if you get to the point where, like, she was to write what she would think is the best comic she's ever written, that's the best comic she's ever written up to this point. That doesn't mean that she couldn't get even better and even better, because she's looking at the shoulders of these giants that got her into the business to begin with. The comic book writers, in the golden age of comics that laid the stage for everybody right now, who wrote the stories of the people you're seeing on the big screen at this point.
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah.
mean? And to even put yourself in a position where, okay, I want to achieve that. That's my goal. I want to get to that echelon. Even if you get there, you can still go farther. You can always go farther.
That's why humans have evolved so far.
So far.
Is because the real good ones go, this is not good enough.
Right.
We can do better, and we keep on doing better and better. And even look at sports. We just keep on doing bigger tricks.
Yeah.
And trying the next best thing.
Yeah.
And the reason why we're doing that is a certain level of, that wasn't my best.
Right.
I can do better than that.
Right.
I'm not happy with what I just did. Even though everybody's blown away, I'm still not happy with that because I know I can do better.
Yeah. You said it in sports. I remember as a young kid, not too young, but like as a kid, I remember when Tony Hawk
I knew you were going to say Tony Hawk.
did the 900.
Yeah, I remember that too.
Everybody's mind blew because that was a video game coming to life. Like, you shouldn't be able to do that many rotations and then land it on a skateboard. It's just like, it was mind-blowing. Look at today. People are doing 1080s and 1260s on a skateboard.
Yeah.
Like, it's nuts. I remember, speaking of X Games, I remember the first time that I think it was Travis Pastrana did a backflip on a bike.
Yeah, on a dirt bike.
On a dirt bike.
Yeah.
And that was like, are you kidding me? I can't
Yeah.
believe it. Now people are doing triple backflips.
Yeah.
Triple backflips.
And it's because of that underlying, that's not good enough.
Right.
Yeah.
I can't stress it enough. There's always a next level. There's always a way to be better at no matter what you do.
I almost feel like the only time you should be satisfied with your work is when you're looking really far back and going, oh, I can't believe I did that all the way back then.
Right.
That should be the only time you should be impressed with yourself, is in retrospect.
Yes, I agree with that statement for sure. But I mean, even being impressed with yourself isn't, you don't rest then. It's not like, I'm done.
No, because when you're impressed in retrospect, you realize that how far you've come.
Yes.
And how much further you can go.
Yeah.
Because as soon as you become impressed with your present being, you stop and you become stagnant and you lose.
Never stop, never stopping, everybody.
Community shout out!
All right. This week on Community Shout Out, guy I just found on Instagram because he made his own Death Wish coffee commercial.
You win.
Yeah. Like, I have to shout you out. One name, he's an indie filmmaker. That is Narom. I hope I pronounced that right.
Narom.
Indie filmmaker, likes boxing, likes lifting. I got a picture of him right here. There he is. This was captioned, I take cooking very seriously.
He sure does.
He sure does. But I'm going to play you his fan-made commercial. I can't believe people are out there doing this kind of stuff for us. It's so cool. Thank you so much for this. So here, check this out. That was awesome. I will point it out because I'm sure you're all pointing it out in the comments because it's something that I struggle with all the time. You think I would learn it by now working for a coffee company. I am the worst at spelling caffeine. and I noticed that it was misspelled in there too. It happens to the best of us, Nerone. But what a cool commercial.
Jeff, you can't spell extra.
I can't. There's an E in there, right? It is true.
I can't spell anything. I don't know why I'm criticizing you.
Spell check and Grammarly. Thank you so much for existing.
Oh my God.
I would never.
Oh my God.
I would
my
never,
emails would be unintelligible
It's
if it
the
weren't
worst.
for Grammarly.
It's the worst.
Seriously, if you write a lot of emails, get Grammarly.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh my God.
But Mugs Up this week, community shout out to indie filmmaker Nerone for that awesome frickin' commercial. And
congratulations on not dying.
Congratulations on not dying, everybody. It's birthday time. We got some fun birthdays as always this week. And I'll start it right off. Thursday, April 19th, one of my favorite actors. And, God, just warms my heart every time I see him. Mr. Tim Curry. He's going to be 72 years old. He's not looking the best anymore because he suffered a stroke. But he's still with us. He, in fact, is still active in the community, still doing stuff, not really acting as much, but is still a voice out there. Man, so many amazing roles. I have two here that are my favorites, but if
Congo.
Yeah. Stop eating my sesame cake.
I said stop eating my sesame cake.
Mr. Homolka, he was in that.
I love that.
What a good movie Congo was. Well, I've got up here two of his more iconic villains that he's played.
Let me correct you. Congo wasn't a good movie. I just enjoyed it.
Tim Curry was pretty great in it. First up, he was the first one to be Pennywise. And I know the new It is pretty scary. I watched it, and the new guy playing Pennywise is scary, does a very good job, but Tim Curry is iconic as that clown. Iconic.
He did such a good job.
And then, yeah. And then another one of his incredible villains is from Legend. The Lord of Darkness there. Incredible. But so many incredible roles. I mean, Home Alone 2 when he was the bellhop. And Clue. Remember him in Clue? What a good movie that was. Tim Curry's the best. I love Tim Curry.
Clue was all right.
Happy birthday on Saturday, April 21st to... the iconic Iggy Pop is going to be 71 years old.
Dude's made of bones and leather. It's crazy.
Changed the game for music, for punk music, for rock music. Still changing the game. In fact, one of our favorite bands, Queens of the Stone Age, Josh Homme did a collaboration with Iggy Pop, and they called it post-pop depression.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think.
It was an incredible album. Really, really cool. Very Iggy and Queens of the Stone Age all together. But a little known fact about Iggy, I remember watching him as a kid. Did you ever watch a little Nickelodeon show called Pete and Pete?
Yes.
He was Michelle Trachtenberg's dad on that show.
Oh, weird.
He was Pete and Pete's, Michelle Trachtenberg right there, that was their neighbor.
Yeah.
And he was the dad, and he would come out and be weird and Iggy Pop all the time. And as a child, I had no idea that he was this crazy punk rocker until later in life.
Wow.
And I was like, whoa, so cool.
Wow.
So happy birthday to him. On Sunday, April 22nd, we have two birthdays. First up, Jeffrey Dean Morgan is going to be 52 years old.
My dude, I love this
Negan
guy.
on The Walking Dead. I mean, you want to talk about villains. This guy he chews those scenes to death in The Walking Dead. Like, as soon as he enters a scene, you're just like, oh, shit.
He did such a good job.
Such a good job. In tons of stuff, though. He's in the brand new movie with The Rock, Rampage, which I'm sure is a hoot.
He really is a new kind of villain, and he plays it so well. And let me tell you, it's him. That's why he plays it so well.
Totally him.
I mean, meeting him was like
yeah,
walking into the set of Walking Dead.
He's
going to beat me with a bat.
I've got that photo right here. I can't not bring this photo up. This is one of the coolest moments of my life, at least. I know probably yours too. Meeting both JDM and Norman Reedus at a Walker Stalker. They were so gracious and kind to us.
It was so cool.
So cool. He's doing his trademark lean back photo pose right there, which he does all the time. It's so cool. Also Sunday, April 22nd, though, another icon, this time of film, Jack Nicholson is going to be 81 years old. He's still kicking. Still, every now and again, goes to a Lakers game. Like, he's still out there. Fun fact about Jack Nicholson, he and actor Michael Caine, are the only two actors to receive Oscar nominations in every single decade from the 60s to the 2000s.
Wow.
That just goes to show how great of an actor he is. And you want to talk about iconic roles with this guy. Holy crap. Obviously, the first one that comes to mind.
Johnny.
Has to. Iconic. But another one of my favorites, being the nerd that I am, I think he's one of the best Jokers out there. I think he killed it. I know we've had this discussion before, and you disagree.
I don't think he was a good Joker.
I understand, and opinions are fine.
I don't know. I felt like for him, it was. I mean, that is the Joker you overact, right?
Right.
But it was just too much. I didn't buy it. I didn't buy it. That's all.
Do you have a favorite Jack role that he's done?
I didn't like the movie that much, but I thought he was great in Anger Management.
Oh yeah, he was so good. He carried that movie.
Yeah,
for sure.
He really did. He really did carry that.
One
movie.
Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
That was great.
Incredible.
What was that? Better Than This. What was it? I can't remember the name of that movie.
Know.
It doesn't get better, or
I don't know. Put it in the comments, guys, if you know what D-Man's
he plays
talking
a dude
about.
with OCD and. I don't know.
Oh.
Some chick falls in love with him. And I
Sounds
guess
like
it doesn't
an
get
old
any
movie.
better. She has to deal with this asshole. That's it. It doesn't get any better than that.
Well, what an icon on the screen for sure.
Yeah.
81 years old.
You know, him and Jeffrey Dean Morgan actually they share a lot in common. Just that,
including a birthday.
Loose at the seams craziness.
Yeah, for
Just
sure.
Like anything could happen.
For sure. Yeah, anything could happen. Monday, April 23rd, turning 18 years old, is Olympic gold medalist Chloe Kim. She's a 4-time X Games gold medalist, and she just won the recent 2018 half-pipe snowboarding gold medalist. She did back-to-back 1080s and just wowed the crowd. Her final run, which this is a photo from, actually, she had already had the medal around her neck. She had already completely destroyed her competition.
Those are my favorite runs.
And she got to just do her final run, and she did back-to-back 1080s in her final run.
Yeah.
So exciting to watch.
It's always so cool when it's like, you've already got the gold medal, but you have another run. And they're like,
what can I do?
I'm going to do something crazy.
Yeah,
'Cause
exactly.
if you fuck up, whatever. It's almost like the mentality you should always take. Just assume you already won it.
Right.
Just go for it.
Yeah, because sometimes the best runs come out of that.
Yeah,
so.
for sure.
So happy 18th birthday to Chloe. That'll be great. And finally, Tuesday, April 21st. He's been hashtagged Dad Steve, as very much so lately. From Stranger Things, Joe Carey is going to be 26 years old. Love his character in Stranger Things. And it's funny because in the first few episodes of season 1 of Stranger Things, I hated him. Because I think you're supposed to.
Yeah.
I just thought he was a shitty character. I just didn't like him. And now, through 2 seasons, I'm like, I can't wait to see him in season 3, man. Like, yeah, he's great. I found this out, too. He's a musician. I did not know that. He's in a band, which you guys can all go check out, called Post Animal. There he is, playing in his band. They're pretty rad. A lot of these younger actors and actresses now are all musicians, too. They're all like double and triple threats.
He's a bass player.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah,
Good for him.
So good for him. So happy birthday to all of them.
I smell a roast.
Brock, does it smell like weed? Are we roasting a bowl?
Yo, man, I'm roasted, man. Oh, yeah. So this, in a couple days on Friday this week, it's going to be 420. And I'm sure even if you guys out there, dislike marijuana, don't use marijuana or
Don't
whatever.
know what marijuana is.
You still probably know the
What's marijuana?
You still probably know the connotation. This whole 420 equals marijuana parallel. What's the deal with that? Like I've heard stories. I know you've heard stories of it.
Well, you always hear that it's the police code for busting on marijuana.
You probably might have also heard that there are some very dark connotations to 420. 420 is National Walkout Day in schools because it unfortunately is the anniversary of the incredibly horrific massacre at Columbine in 1999. It's also, unfortunately, Adolf Hitler's birthday from 1889. So it's got some bad stuff in there, too. But it's most, in pop culture, movies, television, songs, it is mostly referred to as this stoner culture. And I wanted to roast that as the way we do with a lot of, our holidays out there as to why.
And also, people always take things too far.
Yeah.
Okay, do your thing, enjoy your time, but come on, really?
My least favorite thing is, and this was going around when I was in high school, was, hey, man, it's 4/19. You got a minute?
I hate that you even said it.
It's the worst. I freaking hate it.
I hate that you even said that you hated hearing it.
I had to bring it all to you guys.
Dude, if somebody's wearing that T-shirt, I'm punching them in the back of the neck.
It is the truth. So many people cite this non-existent police code that you were talking about. That 420 is this code that police have for a marijuana-related crime. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, one of the most famous police codes out there is 187, which is the murder of a police officer. Mm-hmm. You might know that from an NWA song. But I was looking it up, and there is no 420 code for any police department in North America that connotates a drug-related thing at all.
Now you know.
At all.
Now you know.
420 is a penal code in California that relates to obstructing entry on public land.
Nothing to do with weed.
And in San Francisco, 420 is actually a police code for a juvenile disturbance.
Also nothing to do with marijuana.
Most likely. Another very flimsy theory that I did not know at all is that 420 stems from a Bob Dylan song. Bob Dylan wrote a song back in the 60s called Rainy Day Women, number 12 and 35. And in that song is a very famous lyric that says, everybody must get stoned. And the reason why I say it's famous is because he repeats it about 50 times in that song. It's part of the chorus.
Yeah.
And people have said that he's the one that made the 420 because if you take 12 and times it by 35, it equals 420. That's a stretch.
Whoa.
That's a huge stretch, especially for stoners because stoners aren't doing math. At least I don't think so.
They're doing this kind of math.
Yeah, right?
Dude, man, 12 times 35, bro. You gotta know.
The most prominent theory, though, that I found, and this one, I guess, has the most validity to it, is that it comes from a group of high school students that dubbed themselves the Waldos and also the Grateful Dead. And I'll break it down for you. This is what I found out. So the Waldos were a group of friends that went to school in the California High School of San Rafael. And they had heard about the reason why their name is the Waldos is they would all meet near the outside wall of their school. So they dubbed themselves the Waldos. That was their little thing for them. Cute. Well, they had heard about this marijuana crop that was near the coast where they were, that a Coast Guard had actually had, and he couldn't keep anymore. So it was like this crop that was up for grabs. So for a couple weeks during their high school years, they would go up to each other and go, 420, 420, and remind each other that at 420, they'd meet in the parking lot, jump in the one guy's pickup truck, and they'd go hunting for this marijuana crop. And they'd also smoke a bunch of pot while they were doing it. And then they never found it. But that moniker kind of stuck. And so in the hallways of the school, kids would always go up to each other and go, hey, man, 420. And that would mean, hey, you want to go smoke? Or, hey, do you have smoke? Or, hey, do you whatever. At the exact same time, in this time frame, the Grateful Dead moved into the Marion County Hills area, which was right next door to San Rafael. And the Grateful Dead really started that whole culture in San Francisco, in the height, in that whole area. And they would have shows and all that stuff. And these guys, the Waldos, had direct relations with a lot of the Grateful Dead. One of the Waldos' dad was the realtor for some of their property. And one of the guys who was in the Waldos actually managed some of Phil Lesh's side projects.
Oh, weird.
So therefore, there's no evidence of it, but therefore, probably these kids who were using this slang all the time probably rubbed off on the Dead and their subsequent fans, and everybody kind of just picked it up, and it snowballed from there. And
I always just assumed because it was also Earth Day, and it seems
it's around Earth Day.
Isn't Earth Day?
I think Earth Day is a day or two after. I think it's like the 22nd or the 23rd.
I always just assumed it was just, hippies being hippies.
Hippies being hippies. But You probably have heard a lot about it in pop culture, and that's why I wanted to bring it up because, I mean, we've had television shows like Weeds, we've had movies like Half-Baked and Pineapple Express, and even in the iconic Quentin Tarantino movie Pulp Fiction, if you are really looking, every single clock in that movie is at 4:20, every single one. And Quentin Tarantino's never really said why, but it might just be him just being like, you see my clocks? Like, who knows?
Who
but
knows?
now we all know a little bit more about why this isn't.
Actually, I feel like I know less. Is it weird that it erased some brain cells even just talking about this?
Whoa, man. Well, let's get some brain cells back.
How do we do that?
We'll talk about some coffee.
Oh, okay.
Ha
D-Man's Death Wish Update. Brought to you by Death Wish Coffee.
All right, D-Man.
We're releasing coffee.
Coffee.
We're always releasing coffee.
Coffee. And that's the shit. No, we're just kidding. No, we are always excited to try and give you guys some of the new stuff that we have in the works. If you watch the show every week, sometimes it gets a little harder because we give you so many secrets. There's not enough secrets to go around anymore. But I did some digging, and I found some stuff that's coming up, and you might know about it if you've been following us on social media. I'm going to say it all again. I'm going to give you the spiel. You're watching the show, or you're listening to the show, so you're already doing one good thing. But there's more ways to find out about all the cool stuff that's coming out from us, and that is subscribe to our newsletter. That comes out a couple times a week, and it gives you a breakdown of a lot of the different products and different things, where we're going to be, all that kind of stuff. But then follow us on social media, especially Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Those are the big ones. Those are the ones where you're going to find some new products. And I don't mean just follow D-Man and myself. I mean follow Death Wish Coffee on social media, because you're going to find out about some of this stuff. And one of the things we released recently was a look at our brand new baseball tee, and it's going to look like
so
this.
So
cool. We released one last year in this same vein, but it was white and black. And this year, we released our brand new Era variant hat, which is exactly this, the red brim with the black and the red and black logo. And we were like, man, that's a cool hat. We need a shirt to go with it. So that's what bore this. And I am so excited to get my hands on one of these.
Yeah, the apparel company that we've been working with to release some of this new merchandise has been really nailing it and giving us some really cool ideas. We're going to be coming out with a lot of really cool stuff this year regarding apparel, but this shirt is the beginning of it, because I like baseball tees like anybody else.
Me too.
And I love the last one that we got, but I just don't wear white.
Yeah.
Like, ever. I don't know.
I mean,
it feels awkward to me. So like something like this.
Yeah.
This is so cool.
It really is. I love this new little take on our logo. I love the color scheme. And it'll look great with that new Era hat as well. So, I mean, you'll have your whole wardrobe planned out. Cannot wait. So that's coming up. I'm not going to give you guys a date because it's still weeks away. But weeks, we'll say. Weeks is
a certain amount of weeks.
That's the one. And now, why I was bringing up following us on social media, we did a poll recently on Instagram.
I voted. Did you vote, Jeff?
I did vote.
Did the one you voted for win?
I don't know which one won yet. So I want to show you both variations.
Do you
of
actually
this.
not know?
I do not know. I didn't ask.
Oh, I asked.
Oh. Well, maybe we can reveal that then.
All right, yeah.
But so we're going to do, this is something we've been kicking around for a while. We're really excited about it. We're going to do a collectible pin set. Pins are all the rage. I love them. I love having pins. I got one on the back of this hat, I think. Yeah, a buddy of mine made that. I love having just random pins. We've done a couple before, but we've never done a set. And so we're doing a set. And we had a vote on what set you like. This is the first one with a little Chemex, a little bag of coffee, obviously our logo, and the Fresh to Death mug, which is so rad. And then variation 2 was the same 3, but then the Death Cup instead. Do we want to reveal which one won?
Yeah, it was the Fresh to Death.
Oh, cool.
So it was the one before that. Yeah.
So it's this one. So this will be the one we're going to do. Again, this is probably a couple months out.
I actually just put out the purchase order for this.
So a couple
And
months out.
In doing that,
Yep.
I noticed that Thomas ordered the rubber clutch for the back,
Nice.
which I thought was awesome because those pins, they usually come with a
Yeah.
little metal pinch
that I
thing.
lose immediately.
all the time. I
Yeah.
lose them all the time. And
The rubber ones are great though because I mean I have 2 pins right now that have the rubber ones and they stay on my jacket.
And
They
on top
never
of that,
move.
if you're wearing something in the pins going through it, if you have that metal clutch, it'll scratch you up.
Yes.
Like probably the one like on the back of your head can
Yeah, this
scratch you
one's
up there.
metal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but if it's rubber, it's much more comfortable to wear.
Yeah.
I just noticed that. I was stoked. I even forgot to mention something to Thomas. It was so fresh. I was just like, oh, damn, we got the rubber clutch. Woo!
So we're really excited about this, and I'll tell you guys, this is going to be an incredible product. We are working with another great company, and they're going to be enamel pins, right?
Mhm.
And so they're very, very high quality. They're going to look better than this picture. This
Yeah.
is just a mock-up that Thomas did to really show you guys, we wanted to vote on it and to give you guys an idea. But when we get the pins, they're going to look even better than this.
I love the pin company that we work with.
Yeah.
They do such an amazing job. It's really like the highest quality pins. My only complaint was the metal backing, but now
Yeah.
that we're getting the rubber clutch, woo!
So-
I can't say enough good things about that
So
damned rubber clutch.
So we'll be doing this, and then hopefully this will become one of those pieces of merchandise that maybe we do every single year.
Yeah, I
with
can
more
see doing
variants
this.
because I mean, look right here. We got the cool little Chemex. We got a coffee cup. We got the logo, and we got a coffee bag. That's awesome. I can think of 10 other ideas off the top of my head that are Death Wish related that we could do.
And I will say
that'd be fun to have.
I will say it will be a very limited amount.
Yes.
Very limited. This won't be a freebie.
No.
This will be something that you can purchase. But even Thomas was like, I feel like I should order more. And even when I was ordering, I was like, ooh, probably need more. So if you're into this kind of thing, make sure to keep your ear to the ground. Make sure you're part of the newsletter. We'll let you know on the podcast when we plan to release it.
Yeah.
But get on it, and I imagine we'll do a different set afterwards if this does well, which
Maybe this
which
Death
will.
Cup will be a reality at some point. I mean,
Yeah.
I love that design. I think that's really neat. That'd look cool
Yeah,
on
it's a
your
cool little
lapel
Death
or
Cup,
whatever.
yeah.
So, I mean, that's not off the table. We just wanted to know what to do to begin with, and then sky's the limit with it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm so excited about it. There's a lot of stuff, guys, that's in the works, merchandise-wise, that we just can't talk about yet. Maybe we can we?
I'm gonna bring something up. Actually, I won't talk about it. I'll just show you.
Okay. Guys, I have absolutely no idea what's happening. I know this sounds like a bit, but I really don't. Oh, yeah. We've had this up here on our shelf for the last 2 shows, and nobody has said a word.
I'm not gonna tell you when it's coming out or anything about it. But it's really cool.
It is really cool.
A new vacuum seal canister
Yeah,
design.
we definitely have been
We
wanting to
weren't
get into
able to achieve 2 colors and 2-sided until I put the squeeze on the company.
Yep.
And they are finally able to do it. It may look
You know-
something like this.
And you know what I'm pretty happy about, too? It's got our lightning bolts on the front there.
I love those lightning bolts.
yeah.
But yeah, nice big logo. That's all I'm saying. Not telling you when.
But we got tons of stuff like that in the works. And the only reason we try to give you guys as many secrets as possible every single week. The only reason that we have to keep some of it back is because sometimes we have NDAs. Sometimes we're literally just working with companies and designing it. Like Thomas is a madman designing stuff all the time. And we're tweaking it and changing it. We don't want to just come out and just, blab it without telling you. Without it being completely finalized. But maybe you do. Maybe you have other things. You have other things to say?
No, that'll be it for now.
All right, so that's it for this week. But tune in next week, guys, for more news from Death Wish Coffee Company. That's the show.
That's it.
Thank you guys so much.
Go home, everybody.
One more time.
If you're home already, go to work.
Don't go to work. One more time. Share this feed, share it in the comments, and one lucky winner as soon as we sign off will be chosen, and you're going to get this diner mug from our first set of diner mugs, half human, half coffee. It's awesome. It'll be your new everyday mug. And it's just so we don't ruin the bottom and have you have to worry about washing it and everything, we'll send it out with one of our awesome little postcards that we'll sign the back of for you guys. And thank you guys so much. We're really digging being at this new time slot. I think it's going to work out. We're going to try it for a couple weeks, and I mean I think it's a good fit so far. I like coming out a little bit later. Gives people enough time to kind of do
and
that.
It's never too late to drink coffee, right?
It's never too late to drink coffee. And don't forget, guys, tune in tomorrow for the podcast with comic book writer Amy Chu. We had such a good time talking to her about her career, but we got off topic a bunch because we had our buddies Ming and Mike there too, and we talked about some incredible stories with them, and it's just a lot of fun, and it's all on location at a Shared Universe podcast studio. If you guys want to start your own podcast, go to this link right here, a Shared Universe podcast studio, and you can go to New Jersey and start your own podcast with Ming and Mike. It's that easy. Finally, follow us on social media, and you'll learn even more about who we are and what we do and what we like. And
maybe you'll learn too much.
Yeah, maybe you'll just learn too much. It's really easy. I am at Jeff Wish Coffee.
I am at Death Wish Dustin.
That's it. Thanks again, guys, for tuning in, and we'll be back next week with a brand new show. Cheers.